The war was really bad, bro.
Your mum left, well, forgive me, I got this from Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone.
When she was 4 months pregnant with you.
If the war never happened, I'd never be here. I feel like anyone who comes from like a third world country can tell you, like when you go back home, it makes you realise that film by Leonardo DiCaprio called Blood Diamonds, all of that stuff is real. You're always saying it's Big Zuu and I'm in great company.
What are you insecure about?
Sometimes I'm insecure about how loud and boisterous I am sometimes. I feel like sometimes that gets used against me. I feel like that makes me feel like, raw, should I be quiet then? Like I've got ADHD, bro. Like sometimes I can't control it. And and I'll get like a tweet that says like, that Big Zuu guy, didn't understand him. All he was doing was shouting slang. And I'm like, brother, like, sorry, innit?
Yeah, because that's who you are. You're just being authentic to you.
Yeah.
Dude, you won 2 BAFTAs. Your speech when you got up on stage
Yeah, man.
was powerful.
Instead of being able to enjoy my moment, I had to use it to say something powerful.
Yeah, but that is powerful, man.
The Brits will be way more diverse compared to the BAFTAs. They're very old and they're very white. We want to sell TV to the world. So if you want to have more diversity in thought, you have to have more diversity in the room.
100%. Sometimes though, I'm probably the same as you. Do you want to have those moments where you want to be emotional?
Yes.
And so I do that as well. So you go and hunt for that emotional thing because it can make you cry.
Yeah.
I do that. I do this thing on YouTube where I watch like military people coming home to their families.
Oh, that's deep.
That goes.
See, that's deep.
That's the big
See,
one.
I wouldn't cry.
Why not?
Because I don't know. I can't cry. I've cried a couple times in my life, yeah.
Okay.
When I was born.
You cried then?
I cried then. When they
Okay.
slapped, you know when they slap your bum?
Yeah.
Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, when he does the clap at the end. When he's walking. See, I'm getting emotional.
Yes. Zuu is actually getting emotional.
That makes me so, because it's like he does, because it's such an emotional ending. Have you watched Pursuit of Happiness?
One of my favorites.
When he borrows him, you know when he asks, can I borrow $5 for the taxi?
Can you explain what the movie's about?
Oh, Will Smith is his broke brother. And he breaks up with his girl and he has his son, young Jaden Smith. And he tries to get this job at like being a stockbroker, but then he also invested his life savings into these weird like X-ray machines.
Yeah.
So it's just about his mission from going from being really poor to becoming a stockbroker. It's based on a real life story. And he's like really struggling, working in Wall Street. And then he finally gets the job at the end. But what's so mad is that his boss asked him for $5 to get a taxi, and he really doesn't want to give him the $5.
Yeah,
and then when he gets the job at the end, sorry to ruin the film for you, when he gets the job at the end, he gives him back that $5. And it's so emotional because it's like, he wants that $5.
I can feel it now.
Give me that $5. And then he walks out into a packed New York street and he's just walking under it and he's just clapping. Like, you can see he finally made it. That film is really about the pursuit of happiness and what is happiness and all the setbacks that he goes through. Also, just young Jaden Smith being such an incredible actor.
Mate, unbelievable.
It's quite mad, isn't it? Like, he's done that and Karate Kid. What? What? And then he made a song with Justin Bieber. Never say never. What a song. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, yeah? Jaden Smith doesn't even need to act after that.
Yeah, why
Has he really acted after that?
Why did he stop acting after?
Because he's done enough.
Karate Kid.
That's enough. Karate Kid. And Pursuit of Happiness. It's like Macaulay Culkin. You've done Home Alone. That's it, innit?
Richie Rich.
And Richie Rich. That's it. There's no more to do.
To everyone, your name is Big Zuu.
Yes, Big Zuu.
But what's your Christian name? What do you?
My real name.
What's your real name?
So my real name is Zahir. Yeah? Zahir. But my teachers couldn't pronounce it, so they called me Zuhair. So because they call me Zuhair, I was like, you know what? Just call me Zuu.
Really?
Yeah. But my real name is Zahir Hassan. Zahir Hassan. But I'm named after my dad.
Are you?
I'm a junior.
Zahir Hassan Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So hang and this is because your story, by the way, I was checking out everything. It's insane, man. Because your mum left. Well, forgive me, I got this from Sierra Leone.
Yes, Sierra Leone.
When she was 4 months pregnant with you.
Yes.
Fleed to the UK. And brought you up in the UK with no money, not being able to speak English, not being able to write, read, anything, but then was this unbelievable, powerful, strong mum.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's mad still. She loves it. She loves it. She loves her story. I feel like my mum was just a powerful woman, and she comes from a very, very, like, mad upbringing. My mum's one of 14, like, crazy family. like just comes like Sierra Leone before the war was a beautiful place, and you know the people are amazing people, but the war definitely hurt them in a lot of ways. So my mum having to leave her family and come, it was tough, but you know now she kind of appreciates everything that came from that. So if the war never happened, I'd never be here.
Because your dad's Lebanese, right?
Yes.
So you must be proud of your heritage.
Yeah, 100%. What's weird is that my dad's Lebanese, but he was born in Sierra Leone, and his parents were born in Sierra Leone. So my dad really is just Sierra Leonean. He just has Lebanese heritage. So obviously we know our family back home, and we know our family in Lebanon, but really my entire identity is Sierra Leone. I just happen to be mixed race. But it's mad.
Have you been back?
I go back every year. Every December I go to Sierra Leone.
Really?
And they love it. When I touch down, they're so excited because they know bills are paid. Fun is happening. Let's go. Rice. Everyone gets rice.
What's rice? As in like
just
rice?
Bare rice, yeah, just rice. Just straight up rice. Rice is expensive, bro. Rice is expensive. Back home in Africa, rice is expensive. Especially good rice.
I thought rice was cheap.
Nah, bro. I mean, you have cheap rice.
Mm-hmm.
So in Africa, a lot of the times people eat broken rice,
okay,
which is the rice that doesn't get sent out. Like it's like the rice that doesn't go, like make it.
Yeah.
So they're just bad broken rice. Like one will be long, one will be short, one will be like it's bare weird. They don't really eat good rice. So when I touch down, they know basmati is coming. Bare basmati, bare fruit, anything you want. Do you know what's mad about back home? When I go back home, so a lot of it's about like provisionals. Whereas here we eat what we want, we have what we want, we can order takeaway today, like anything we want, we can taste the world. Back home it's just a bit different, like buying a lot of onions and a lot of tomatoes and hella chickens and a lot of rice for your family. That's some real shit.
Yeah, but also when you have that juxtaposition, right? When you see like the two different sides, it makes you appreciate also. Like...
Oh yeah, that's why I always go back home. I went my first time I went back to Sierra Leone. I was 8, and it changed my life. I was a little boy, but it changed my life. I was playing a Game Boy in my granddad's car, and the whole road was standing outside the car watching me play this Game Boy. Just watching me play it. I was like, do you not want to play? They're like, oh, no, we don't play. I said, why? Did I? No, you play. And they just watched me play Mario.
Well, because they'd never seen a Game Boy before.
I feel like not to that level of Game Boy. Maybe they've seen like one in their life, but not like a Game Boy SP color with like, with the fresh Mario. Like they was mad. They was just watching me through the window. Like, this is mad. Like, and I'll never forget that moment. I was like, raw, like, I thought my life was shit in England, you know, because my mum didn't really have a lot of money and we grew up single parent background. But then when I went to Africa, I realized, you know what? I'm all right.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's insane. That's a real eye-opener.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I feel like anyone who comes from like a third world country can tell you, like, when you go back home, it makes you realize that. Like, I remember just like first time I had a shower, like in Sierra Leone, like there's no hot water. I'm like, what's going on? And then the electricity cuts out. There's no electricity. So you got to put on a generator. You're like, oh, so I can't charge my phone. There's all these little things. It makes you appreciate life. And every time I go back, it's a reset. So I go every year to 1, see my family, to 2, take a break, but 3, to like reset my mentality. Like you go back there, there's no Uber, there's no Uber Eats, there's no Deliveroo, everything is just like random, like you have no control. It's like life just is life and you get on with it and they all get on with it. And
see, that's a good message, man. Like, because someone's listening right now, right, who's like a big fan of yours, who kind of is, because I think we're all like, especially in this like Western like society, like I think it's like everything is so easy.
Yeah, instant
The whole time. If you want food, you can get it. If you want to get drunk, you can get it. If you want to order something, you can get it. And actually that then makes us complacent and like not appreciate things. So that's a really great way as a message to like younger kids is like, actually, no, you need to go and experience something like that and see actually what real life is like. Yeah, makes you realize how lucky we are. Yeah,
especially, I think energy is the most important thing that you realize in terms of Sierra Leone. Is like electricity is not a God-given right, like to have electricity. Sierra Leone has a really bad problem with electricity. We sometimes you might be lucky, you might get it for 3 hours a day, you might get it for 6 hours a day. There was a blackout for 2 months. There's a blackout in Spain for like 1 day, the world went mental. Like in Sierra Leone, that's continuous. 2 months, my dad had no electricity. My dad's telling me, yo, bruv, like, what do you do? That means no fridge. That means a lot of things, like bare things that we're just so used to having. That means they don't work. So like, I'll be at like my granny's and like, you'd be like watching a film and it cuts you like, fuck's sake, bruv. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and then the generator has no fuel. So then you got to go get fuel for your generator and then you got to run it. And then, there's so many little things. But then you realize that life could be worse. Sometimes the generator cuts and the electricity cuts and all you can do is sit in, because it's so hot, you just got to sit in a balcony and just talk. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Right, I tell you what, you don't realize how many hours are in a day until everything's taken away.
Trust me.
Dude, there's 24 hours is a long time.
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously, don't get me wrong, Sierra Leone is filled with beauty and amazing things, and there's a lot of wealth there. There's a lot of people who have continuous electricity, have continuous generator, but I don't come from a background like that. Like, my family are doing all right, but a lot of them don't have a lot of money. So sometimes when the electricity comes, light don't come, is what they say. The light don't come, and then the light's here, and then you enjoy it, and then when it goes, just carry on with your day, bruv.
I like that.
Whereas if it was in England, you'll be calling Scottish Power, going absolutely mental.
Scottish Power?
Yeah. Or one of them. I don't know who else is there. There's Scottish Power, the Octopus or something. You'll be calling them, man, going mental. Excuse me, I've been in my house for 2 hours. My TV is not working. I can't turn on light. I can't use the bathroom.
See, when did you realize growing up that you were kind of maybe less privileged than other kids?
From the jump.
Really? Straight away?
Instantaneously. Now, you know what? My mum and my dad were still together up until I was about 3. And that's when by the time I got to 3 is when the war got really intense. So there was like different stages of the war, but like the first like initial like coup or like rebel takeover was in 1992. And then another one happened around, I think it's 98. Like, there was 2 times it happened. And the first time it happened, my family really got hit by it. And then by 95, my mom came over. But then the second time it happened, my family really got hit by it. So my dad wasn't able to send money back home. My mom and my dad split up.
Wow.
Me and my mom went from like living my mom had like a nice house and she used to rent a room to someone. But then that all completely went, and then we kind of went straight into like temporary housing. And then we stayed at this place, which I called the hotel, which was like a refugee hostel kind of thing, which had like different rooms for people. It was like shared accommodation. So like we had a room, and then we'd share a kitchen, share a bathroom. But like, I was so young, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm just in this mad hotel. There's bare little kids running around. I was like, wow, this is sick. Like, I live with like 50 kids. You know what I mean? And we're like, it was a bed and breakfast. So in the morning you can get like eggs and that and beans. And then they would take us on trips. They take us on trips every Saturday, Sunday. So I knew that this wasn't normal, but I kind of just got on with it. And then, yeah, that was when I was like 3-4 years old.
During the war, did any of your family get injured?
Yeah. So there was, my uncle passed away during the war. My uncle Feroz, my mom's eldest brother, his story's a bit sad. Like, he kind of got caught up in some stuff and he was with the army, and then he lost his life. But like, only as I get older, I get to like kind of connect with my family on the stories about what happened, because a lot of them kind of like suppressed all of the stuff that happened. So only as I'm like, now I'm 29, my dad's really sat down and explained to me the kind of things that he went through. And then my mom's explained the stuff that her family went through. But the war was really bad, bro. Problem is that the living conditions in Sierra Leone were really bad. So the rebels in Liberia below, they kind of entered Sierra Leone. Because basically there was a war happening in Liberia.
Yeah. Rebel
war. And Sierra Leone sent troops down to try help. And then the rebels in Liberia took that as a like, what? You're trying to get involved? Okay, watch what we're going to do to you. So they came through into Sierra Leone from the bottom of Sierra Leone and started making their way to the city, which is called Freetown. And obviously, I haven't got all I'm not super clued up on the war, but I know a couple things. But what I know is that what they was doing was they was taking over the diamond mines in the provinces, in all the villages around where all the diamond mines are, and they would swap diamonds with the West for arms and use those arms to take over take over villages, take over cities. That's why it's called Blood Diamonds. That's why they have the term Blood Diamonds. That's why that film by Leonardo DiCaprio called
Good
Blood
movie.
Diamonds, which is about Sierra Leone, which is literally what you see is that the guy finds the diamond and then everything goes crazy. Everyone's after him, and it's all about child soldiers. You know, the child soldiers stop him in his car. All of that stuff is real. And what I think the main thing is that how the war affected my family is that I have my mom's side who's Sierra Leone and my dad's side who's Lebanese. So from my mom's side, they just had to stay safe and not get caught by the rebels. Whereas my dad's side, they was quite wealthy, so they lost all their wealth by trying to survive. So it was, there's so many different sides to it. There's so many different textures, layers. You know, obviously I lost family to it, but also the destruction it did to the country itself. Like the war ended 2001, 2002, and you know, 20 years on, the country is still battered. Like there's young people don't have opportunities.
Yeah.
You've got young men on the street who just have nothing to do. You know, the corruption in the government, X, Y, Z. It's deep.
Did you won 2 BAFTAs?
Yes, we got double.
Come on, baby. Man.
Yeah, it was mad, bro.
That's and we were talking about earlier your speech when you got up on stage.
Yeah, man.
Was powerful.
Thank you, bro.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, definitely. I tell my mom right there, the woman in the pink, that's what it started. And then I spoke about me, Tubbs, and Hyder coming from where we come from. You know, Tubbsy coming from a war in Iraq, Hyder being from Kurdistan, which is not a recognized state, and then me coming from Sierra Leone. And then I spoke about working class, and I spoke about TV, and I bigged up my commissioner, Natalie Rose, who's a black woman. I tackled a lot in a small space of time. And that speech, really, it went crazy and a lot of people respected me for it. But I felt like it was the one chance I could use a platform to maybe just talk about all this stuff that we're talking about. I was able to kind of address it in a 2-minute speech. And what's sad is that if you watch the speech, I'm kind of angry, because the reason why I'm angry is because instead of being able to enjoy my moment and just be like, thank you guys, I had to use it to say something powerful.
Yeah, but that is powerful, man.
Yeah, of course. But it's just sad that sometimes we have to hold that. I have to bear that, because at the time, I'm 25. Like I just want to get lit.
Yeah, that's it, right? But then that shows your personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is most people, myself included, if I was that age, right, would have like not said anything profound. You just go up there and it's just like, oh, let's just go for it. But you're actually thinking clearly. You're thinking this is my point to actually make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's because I'm looking at the room of the BAFTAs and it's like, look at this swanky hall, like with South Bank, like.
You're not nervous?
Nah. Bro, honestly.
What?
I was just like, I kind of just looked at them and I was like, I always say this joke, but there's nowhere to look because you're not looking on the barrel of a camera. You're not like, hi, welcome to my BAFTA speech. You're looking in the air.
Yeah.
And there's like an auto cue that is telling you 2 minutes, but you don't want to look at that because then you're just staring at an auto cue that's telling you hurry up. So I looked at Ross Kemp's head. I saw Ross Kemp. He's mad bold. I was like, that's my focal point. So I stared at Ross Kemp's head. And I've said this bare times. I don't know if he's ever going to hear it, but one day I hope he hears it. Ross Kemp, big up you, because I stared at his head and it let me just zone in. And his head became an auto cue. And I saw all the lyrics in his brain. But then when I was looking out, I was like, this is some bougie room full of bougie people who probably don't want to hear this right now. But fuck it. You better listen. You better clap. If you don't clap, you look like a prick.
Do you know what it, like, I reckon you've had this, right? Which is where, you know, with your cooking show and your presenting and stuff like that, what probably happens a lot, which weirdly it sort of happened to me a little bit because I came from like reality TV, which is a totally different story.
Yep.
But to you, where people will say things like, "Oh, he's actually not bad. Oh, he actually can do that." And in your head, you know you're good.
Yeah,
and you know you can do that. And so winning the BAFTA is like, no, I definitely should have won the BAFTA.
Yes.
And that's a big thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Where a lot of people are congratulating you because to them it's a surprise.
Yes.
To you, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, we earned it. That year,
100% you earned it.
That year I won the BAFTA, I went ham, bruv. I did everything you could possibly do. I did because we won the show, we won the BAFTA for our second season, which was filmed in COVID. And we won it, we won Best Feature. But I also won Best Entertainment Performance, and that was against the late great Sean Locke, Alison Hammond, Graham Norton, Michael McIntyre, and Joe Lycett. So like, I've beat these incredible broadcasters, presenters to win this mad prestigious award. And I remember when I won it, I was like, I deserve this, but I've gone ham this year. Maybe not as ham as them, but I'm not in the positions that they are. So for my world, I just remember thinking after, everyone who was in the academy that voted for me, because a lot of people think, how was it voted? Is it fake? Da, da, da. It's just an academy. It's just a collection of people get to decide. Half of them probably don't even watch the shows. They just click a name.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody who's in the academy studies what's right. A lot of times people probably just vote for their friends.
There's a crazy statistic in that. That's something I don't know what the statistic is, but something I saw about the Oscars. Something like a third or maybe more now of the Academy don't actually even watch it, they just click.
Yeah, because apparently they're changing the rules.
They're
that you have
changing
to
the rules.
watch it to be able to decide.
Yeah.
So when the people that are part of the BAFTAs are probably choosing who wins the BAFTA that year, they're probably just going, you know what, I've seen that Big Zuu guy a lot this year, and he's doing some shit, so I'm going to click for him. Do you know what I mean? That's how I think it got voted. Maybe a couple of them were like, you know what, I really love his shows. I really love what he stands for. I really love what he's doing. But I reckon a big percentage of them probably gone, I've seen this kid a million times. Go on, give it to him. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think one thing about that moment that definitely changed my life is that after that, I went into that BAFTAs. I walked in, I was in my bright yellow Stone Island jacket. With my two friends, Tabi and Haidu, who also in Stone Island bombers and turtlenecks. And half of the room don't even know who we are. Half of them have probably seen us. A couple of them know that we're nominated. Michael McIntyre came over with his wife and gave me a big hug because I've been on the wheel before. Yeah. The wheel. I've been on that. So he showed me some love. Like, it was weird. Like, we walked in, we kind of just felt like outcasts. We just went straight to the smoking area.
Did you really?
Yeah, just went straight to the smoking area, chilling in the smoking area, just smoking bare cigarette. And then when we won, you have the dinner after. Yeah. Which is like, and we're in the dinner and everyone's like, oh my God, I absolutely love you. You're so amazing. And it was just like, we want to leave.
Why?
Because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like, it felt like we got this shiny light on us that this didn't. So we left. We went to Marouche in Knightsbridge.
Love Marouche.
And got a kebab.
Wait, but explain that to me. It didn't feel right, but what, because you felt like people were being fake, or you felt like imposter syndrome?
It was definitely imposter syndrome. People haven't been being fake. It's just, I've been to a lot of award shows since. And naturally, when the person wins an award, you want to congratulate them after. How genuine you are is different. Because like, sometimes people win the award and you really love them and you really love the show that they won the award for. So you're like, oh my God, bro, you deserve it, man. And then sometimes you're just saying it to say it. And I felt like many times in high, especially because I'm with my the two friends that I grew up with, we're just kind of like, yo, this energy is a bit weird, man. Everyone's just coming up to us, talking to us like, what? Who are these people? Like, people come and say, hi, I'm the head of BBC, of the congrats, we'll speak soon. And you're like, okay. We're just a bit lost in it.
Do you think that there is a sense of imposter syndrome in there because you're talking about that it feels like an elitist industry?
Yes. Yeah, it's like, it just felt like a lot of people that were like super like mad powerful and mad this and mad that. We were kind of just like, felt like we was the prey. It's like, oh, you love just won your BAFTAs. How can we benefit from you? How can we commission something now from you? Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like there's people in the room that were genuine and showed us real love. And like I remember Ant and Deck won that night, and we was in a table next to them, and we took a picture with them with their BAFTAs and our BAFTAs. And I'm looking at my friends like, bro, these are like legends of TV. Like, so that was a beautiful moment. But you got all these mad like heads of, telly, bro. There's like 5 million heads of everything. Heads of factual, heads of news factual, heads of factual entertainment, head of entertainment factual. Like, it's so much shit that it was just a bit overwhelmed.
But say you won a Brit Award.
Yeah.
For music.
Yeah.
Would you feel the same imposter syndrome there?
Nah, because the industry is completely different.
Explain that to me.
Because in music, the room's going to be full of, like, you'll have a couple of the same, like, elitist wankers, but you'll also have a room full of my friends and artists and different people that run labels that come from different backgrounds. It'll be a way more diverse room. The Brits will be way more diverse compared to the BAFTAs. The BAFTAs is not what, like, people probably don't even know what it's like at these award shows. I go to a lot of them because thank God I've been nominated a lot of times. But whether it's the BAFTAs, whether it's broadcast, whether it's the Royal Television Society Awards, all of them, they're all the same. And they know they are, which is why they're trying to make a change. Which is why people like me are here winning them. Do you know what I mean? But like those rooms, they're very old and they're very white. And there's not a lot to say. We all know what's going on. We all know how it is. We all know how they're trying to make a change. But then when you're a young person like me in that room, and you're just looking around like, yo, where's the man then?
So I want to ask you a big question, because this idea about diversity, right, is seriously important.
Yeah.
And more and so, like in the workplace, people want to have diversity, but a lot of people don't know why they want diversity. They just think it has to be a thing.
Yeah, of course.
So for someone listening now, saying like, okay, well, why do I need diversity in the workplace or in my school? What would you say to them?
Well, a lot of people think it's about ticking boxes, right?
Correct.
It's like when you watch adverts. Oh, that advert. Oh, look. It's woke now. Oh, they got a lesbian couple. Oh, look, there's a black couple. Oh, look, there's a disabled guy. Oh, that advert's woke. No, it's about representation. You can only have diversity in thought if people are represented. So if you have a room full of people who all come from the same, like telly is made for the people, right? So if telly is not reflective of society, if telly is 50% middle class, upper class, and it doesn't have a representation of the working class,
and just majority white,
and majority white, then how can it be representative of society? Now, obviously, we live in a white country. We live in England, but there's also a big percentage of people from different diversities. And also, we want to sell TV to the world. So if you want to have more diversity in thought, you have to have more diversity in the room. Having different people around means that it breeds different ideas. And it's not just about color. It's about diversity in everything, especially gender as well. Like, like women are very underrepresented in terms of positions of power in television as well. So it's not just diversity in like, oh, we need more black people. No, we need more every people. We need everyone. We need, like, sometimes I've been on set and I've never seen a woman in a hijab. So I'm like, there's no Muslim women here. So maybe if we wanted to cover a topic, how can she be represented? Okay, there's no Asian women here. All right, there's no one that's disabled here. So how can we represent them in these things? And when I first worked on Big Eats, our crew was very, very, like, just not diverse at all. And I was really lucky. We made a great show and I was able to get through it. But at second season, I said, no, we need more diversity. I want to get a black director and I want to get more people involved. And by the time we did season 4, it was completely just all different people represented, all different ideas. And what it meant is that you have different opinions. It's like, this is the best example I could give. It's not really an analogy, but it's something I said to my friend to kind of break down, because he was like to me, oh, bro, all this TV stuff, it's all they're just ticking boxes, innit? Like, you man on telly because they just need more black people. I said, imagine when you finish a football game, yeah? You're all in a changing room, bag of lads. You're going to be talking shit. You're going to be having fun, banter, whatever. But if there was a woman in that room now, suddenly the conversation changes because you're a bit more mindful. But then, depending on what that woman's like, then if she's gang, then you might say a couple more things that you wouldn't have said. But then, now if you got 3 women in the room, the conversation changes. Now, if you got a disabled person in the room, now you're not going to say those things you might have said, that joke you might have said about a disabled person. But then, if you learn from them and you're in that room with those people, suddenly the conversation changes. So when you're in a room full of all the same type of people, sometimes you get comfortable in saying what you want to say. Then when other people come in the room, it kind of puts you on edge. You're like, can I say that? Am I allowed to say that sexist joke I was going to say before? Maybe I can because that person actually understands it, respects me. And I feel like that's how you create diversity in thought. It's understanding that people can be in a room. Doesn't mean you should change. It just means you should learn.
Yeah. I mean, diversity in creative industries makes innovative content. It changes the content. It makes it better, makes it different. Yeah. What season were you when you won the BAFTA?
Season 2.
Season 2 you won the BAFTA?
Yeah.
So when there started to be a change, then things like that.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely helped. And it also, I don't know, look, don't get me wrong. I feel like, obviously, living in England, I feel like sometimes people are like, but we live in an English country, why would you not want white people to work? I mean, it's not that we don't want white people to work. I want everyone to work. It's just that if you give more people opportunities, you get better content out of it at the end of the day. Because when you have those different thoughts, those different voices in a room, suddenly you start representing things that you never, like, I can't speak on behalf of a woman. So if my whole team is just full of men, then I'm not representing the thoughts of women. I'm not being able to tap into what makes them great, what makes them laugh, what makes them smile, what they enjoy. So then my content isn't as good as it can be now.
And you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
You know what? That is the biggest difference for me, is that a lot of people trying to make these decisions or haven't had that experience of, you know, growing up in a certain background, growing up as, you know, perhaps black or whatever it is. You know, they haven't experienced it.
No, definitely. I think what I realized was it's about I think the big problem is classism. Classism within TV is the biggest problem. Like, and classism within everything. I think the more we understand that, if you have people from the working class getting into positions of power, it makes them be able to bring in people and represent views and ideas that maybe are not seen if you come from a different class. And I think in telly, that's one thing I realized, is that it's like, when I got into it, I was like, yo, like, I always be like, yo, where's the man then? And it's like, it's kind of mad, because it's like, it's not that I want to deprive people of opportunity, bro.
Yeah.
If you deserve to work, you deserve to work.
100%.
My director is an old white man. He's called Chris Faith. He's a fucking legend. He's amazing. He's a G. I love him so much. I'm so happy that I work with him. My exec that I work with all the time is a middle-aged white brother from Manchester called Alex Gilman. I love him. If I wasn't able to work with him, I wouldn't be able to do all the great things that I do. It's not that I don't want to work with white men. I just also want to work with women.
I love this.
Diverse brothers.
When you go through hardship, you want to help.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot more. It's really strange, right? And when you've been through a lot of privilege, it doesn't come as naturally, because you're not thinking. You just it's the norm is that life has been easy. You've had a roof over your head, you've food on the table, whatever it is. So you don't think about it as much.
Yeah.
And more that I've got older, the more I realize that perhaps I haven't lent into that side enough. And actually, what you realize is actually helping younger kids, helping other people, helping less fortunate people. That is the magic in the world that should be happening all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I used to be a youth worker. That was like my main goal to in terms of career when I was a young person. I just wanted to like help young people. But like you said, it came from the fact that when I was growing up, I had a lot of help. So when I got older, I was like, what can I do in life? I talked to a career advisor. They're like, what are you good at? I said, I'm good at talking. And she said, all right, why didn't you work in social work? So I started like leaning into youth work. I volunteered for a charity called City Year, which is part of the National Citizenship Service. And, you know...
What was that like?
That was mad. I worked in a school in East London called Haggerston Girls' School, but it just became mixed when I came. So the eldest boys were year 10. So the eldest boys were all like 14, and I was 18 at the time. So when I was a TA, and they kind of just like, they really resonated with me. I used to play football with them. Like at lunchtime, I'll be there, take off my tie, I'm playing football with them. Like, I look like one of them. But then as soon as break time's over, put my tie back on. All right, guys, get back in class. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was mad. One thing I've always said is that I feel like we as a society have to volunteer more. More time. It doesn't just have to be helping young people. It could be helping elder people. It could be helping people that are the same age as you. A lot of people that are neglected are young men who are from the age of like 19 to 25, because society looks at them like, we owe you nothing. Do you know what I mean? A lot of times we do focus on young people, and we focus on elder people, but sometimes that middle ground where you have people who have no job, have no career, have no idea what they want to become in life, they end up just getting lost in the sauce. And I feel like the more we volunteer, the more we give people like opportunities to like get into different careers or look at different career paths, then you kind of give that chance to the next level of society. And I feel like that's one, like, especially now, like in the cost of living, all the problems that we have in England, if we all volunteered a little bit more and spent some time to like give young people chances to get into different jobs and different roles, you definitely see a big difference. I feel like it should, like, volunteering should be something we all do at least once a month, like an hour. If everybody volunteered like an hour, 2 hours a month, just doing something to give back. Like, just sometimes charity, people think it's all about money. It's not about donating money. It's not about just going online, Googling charity, sending your money. That's great. But if you give your time, that's worth more than anything. Do you know what I mean?
Man, you're sorry, because after 18 or even early if you leave, you're kind of thrown out of school with no direction whatsoever, and you're like, here you go, here's life, and you're 18 years old. Like, what do you do from that age? Especially if you're living in an under sort of, if it's you're not coming from a privileged background in any way whatsoever. Maybe your parents aren't there to look after you, whatever it is. That's when bad shit happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because you haven't got guidance, and then people take advantage, and that's what you see. That's what you see in life. I feel like for young people nowadays, it's tough because, it's tough for everyone. So it's hard to focus on what's going on with young people, especially after COVID. Like, a lot of youth services closed. So youth clubs, community hubs, they all closed. Like I think it was like a third of all youth services closed. So, it's tough, but I think the more people, whether you're in a position of privilege or not, if anyone can just volunteer time to help in, that will make a big difference, man.
Do you remember anyone in particular who you looked up to as a kid that really helped you?
I mean, for me, it's a collective, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do a lot of work in my secondary school, which is hilarious. I have an award named after me, the Zahir Hassan Award, which is about like the arts and creativity. And my school created it because they realized they didn't lean into that when we was at school. Not lean into it a lot, but like it was
second best.
Yeah, it wasn't as big, as important as math, science, English, music, drama, like those kind of, like, cooking. But one thing my school really realized is that, so I made a show called Big Zuu Big Eats, which was a really successful program, and it changed my life. But it's me and my two friends who went to the same secondary school. So all three of us did catering as a GCSE. And my school look at that and go, wow, like, they went from doing catering to getting an award-winning program. So we should maybe invest more into catering because we might make a couple more Big Zoos. So when we go back to the school, they're always so big on us, like cooking with them and doing all these little, and then obviously the fact that I'm a musician as well, they would like want to invest more in the music. So they created this award named after me, and every term I go and hand out the award. And I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And every time I go back, you just see more and more like engagement with it. Like, and I remember the first time we went, they wanted to do like a music section. Then this year when I went back, they had a full band. So like, you can see like the influence from the school going, okay, how can we use what Zoo's gone through to inspire the kids? And a big part of that is my head teacher, a guy called Eugene Moriarty. At first, he was my head teacher, so I didn't really like him. Because when you didn't want, who really likes their head teacher? You're afraid of them. You don't want him to. But now, like, I see him as a friend. I call him Eugene, which is quite weird. But
is it weird, that moment that it switches?
So weird. Like, yeah, right, Huge?
When it switches.
Yeah, but Eugene, he stepped down as head teacher now. He just works at the school. But I really see his passion for young people and how much he's just proud to try and make a change. And then another teacher, a woman called Miss Andrews, Sharon Andrews, she really, really just beautiful, amazing woman that invested a lot of time into us, cared about me, showed me so much love. Guy called Mr. Hatch, Graham, good old Graham. It's
amazing that you remember them.
Of course.
I know, isn't that insane?
I got mad connection with my school. And Bradley Wiggins went to my school as well.
Really?
Yeah, the Olympian.
Yeah. What a weird...
Mad school.
Mad.
And Seal went to my school as well, Anti-Seal.
Seal?
Yeah, Anti-Seal. My school's quite random, like, but Bradley Wiggins obviously going there meant that when the sports department got a lot of love, because obviously being one of the most decorated Olympians, you go into our school, you get a lot of respect for that. So our sports was really, really good. We had like a lot of great facilities and that. So you kind of see, like, if somebody comes from a school and they go on to do good things, the school normally gets a lot of investment back in for what that person was good at. So because I've left school and I've gone on to do music, art, TV, now my school's going, okay, how can we invest in that? Because sometimes normally the government go, all right, if that young person's gone on to do that, how can we get more young people to get in to do that?
If you had to give up food or music.
Bro, come on, G.
What would you give up?
That's like saying, shoot your wife or your mum.
I think your mum would have something to say about that.
Yeah, my mum would. Nah, that's a bad example still. Nah, I would say, food or music, bruv.
Food or music.
Obviously, food, like, man will die, innit?
But you'll survive.
But then music, I will also die as well. I'll give up.
What gives you more pleasure?
Music. What gives me more pleasure? I'll be real. It's so tough, bro. I would say food gives me more pleasure.
Really?
Only cause, yeah, like, I love music. Like, my life is music. But like, food is like, I would travel for food. Like, I will go to the random corners of the world just to eat, bro. I go on holiday for food. I don't go on holiday for beach, views, tourism. I don't care about the attractions. Like, when I went to Rome, yeah, great. Yeah, there's mad things here. The Colosseum. Like, oh my God, that building's so mad. I don't care. I want to eat pizza.
The food's good, right?
Food is banging. People like to me, Rome hasn't got good food. I'm like, well, you just don't know how to go on TripAdvisor properly, do you? Like, there is banging food in Rome, bruv.
I listened to a story of yours that that growing up, your mum wouldn't change the food that she cooked.
Yeah, all the time, same thing.
Same thing all the time. So you then had to go and cook some pasta.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes. So my mum, obviously being an African lady, you know, when she first came to England, she was just used to her same dishes that she grew up cooking all the time. And what she used to do was, like, sometimes when she couldn't be able to cook, she'll buy tortellini just to, like, put it in the fridge. Like, because it says, like, you just boil it, heat up the tomato sauce in the microwave, bam. But she used to boil the tortellini for 10 minutes. Because obviously it's fresh pasta, but she boiled it like it was dry pasta. She didn't know the difference. So one day, when my mum was pregnant, I boiled the pasta and I read the packet, it said boil for 2 minutes. So I boiled it for 2 minutes. And then I gave it to my mum. My mum was like, yuck, this is not cooked. She's like, Zuu, it's raw. I took the packet out of the bin. I said, Mum, look, it says boil for 2 minutes. She said, oh, okay, maybe you're right. And then I remember just that feeling of, like, proving my mum wrong was, like, the greatest feeling in the world. And then I fell in love with pasta. I fell in love with, like, al dente and boiling and, like, fresh pasta, dry pasta, sauces. Then I learned how to make a tomato sauce. Then I learned how to make a bechamel. Then I learned how to make lasagna. Then you learn how to make spaghetti, and then you learn how to make this and that. And
apparently your macaroni cheese is
my macaroni cheese will destroy your life. It will destroy your head top.
How good is it?
Bro.
So give it to me, actually. How good is it?
We can call people. We can FaceTime people. I got people that are like, that just want to come to my house and have macaroni cheese. That's all they care about. They don't want anything but mac. My mac. The thing is, it's about the roux. I make the bechamel with love.
Yeah.
Like, I whip it. Like, you can see, look at this wrist action, yeah? I whip it with love. You can't make a roux with a whisk. You can't make bechamel with a whisk, because then it will be lumpy. So I make it with a wooden spoon. Mm-hmm. I make it with good butter, good flour, a lot of milk. Sometimes you could boil the milk with, like, cloves and black peppercorns and bay leaf and onion. I don't give a shit about any of that. Just boil the milk. Make the milk hot. You don't have to make it hot. It's fine. You can do what you want. But then it's about how you season that bechamel. A lot of paprika, a lot of hot sauce. You have to have hot sauce because the hot sauce, the vinegariness cuts through the saltiness of the cheese. Then you have to have mustard. Hella mustard. Like, stupid amount of mustard. A lot of black pepper, a lot of white pepper, and then every version of cheese that you love. I do 4 cheeses.
White pepper?
Yeah, white pepper.
Whoa, get out of here.
Yeah, white pepper.
That's rare, no?
White pepper's Laing.
White pepper?
Yeah.
Oh.
White pepper, bro. White pepper's important.
Why? Like, it's the same as black pepper, no?
No, it's not, bro. Come on, bro. It's pink Himalayan salt, the same as table salt. No. They're different salts. Different flavors, brother. Like paprika and smoked paprika. Different paprikas. Sorry, I got a bit angry at you. I was gonna fuck you up. Like, it's so vexed. Like, no, honestly, white pepper, bro.
It's unbelievable.
White pepper, onion powder, garlic powder.
There you go. Your cousin is AJ Tracey.
Mr. AJ Tracey, yes.
Let's go.
We was at his show yesterday, his London headline. AJ's doing all these small, like, intimate shows. So, like, it's like, not, like, he's so used to doing, like, big, massive massive arenas and shit. So like we've gone back to like the essence. And yesterday was amazing.
Do you love it when you see? It must be amazing when you see your friends and yourself. You know, especially as we talk about the background you come from, like having the success.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Like AJ, seeing AJ do well kind of inspired me to want to do well. And then now the place that he's in, he's one of the most like important rappers of the UK scene. One of the most successful independent artists to ever come out of England. He's my friend, he's my brother, he's my cousin. He's someone that I grew up just respecting. And now we were able to kind of like share this joy, you know, because me and him, we have a show coming out on Sky this month called Rich Flavors, which is going to be sick. And like...
What happens in Rich Flavors?
It's just me and him eating really expensive food and just taking the piss out of it. And then I cook my version of it. So we went to Korea, we did a bit in Scotland, and we did New York as well. And like we just tried all this.
Love that, man.
Yeah, mad. It's on Sky. It's coming out soon, and it's just like mad. Just me and him eating crazy shit, like eating the most expensive hanwoo beef in Korea because they don't do wagyu. Because you know Korea and Japan is very big beef. See what I did there?
I like what you did there.
Thank you very much. So we had some hanwoo. We had some ginseng. Then we went to Scotland. We had the most expensive haggis. In New York, we had the most expensive slice of pizza. It's just our view on like really expensive food.
Can I ask you, when do you ever get nervous?
Do you know what's weird? I didn't get nervous for a long time. Because a lot of times I was always, within my work, I just kept on doing madder things. And every time I realized the more you embrace, the better you do. So for maybe at the start of my career, when I first started hosting and first started presenting, I was a little bit nervous when I did like a radio show or something. But then for a long time, I wasn't nervous. But you know what? Going back on this tour with AJ, I was a little bit nervous on stage. I was like, damn. Because I haven't performed in so long, I was like, this is like what I used to do all the time. But I've gone into telly world and I'm so used to like, are you ready? You guys ready? Yeah. Hi, welcome, I'm Big Zuu. Whereas that was like, there's no...
It's freestyle.
They're looking at you.
Yeah. You that's pure entertainment.
Yeah. And it was like, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, and then I kind of like messed up some of the songs, but like, it was fine. I got on with it. But like, it was good to feel nervous again. I haven't felt nervous in years, man. I felt like, do you know what's mad? I remember when I first started doing like panel shows and talk shows.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Graham Norton, Jonathan Ross, all them thing there. When I first went on those things, I was a little bit nervous. But then you realize like, this is just a big like, this is just like, we're just chatting shit. It's about who can chat the most shit and get it on camera. Like it's like a battle. It's like a rap battle.
It is like a rap battle.
Like if you stay quiet, you will not get a chance.
Yeah.
So you have to be in it. And I'm so loud, so over the top. So like when I start going on them shows, I realize like this is sick, man. This is dope. Like I'm able to have bare fun. So for a couple of years in telly, I've been really comfy. But like I remember I did Saturday Night Takeaway. I was the guest announcer. And Ant and Dec, they're like, in the corner we got Big Zuu. And then I had to say my bit. And I remember doing it and I'm just like, what am I doing, bruv? What?
Yeah, what is life?
But I put my hands in the air like this and my armpits were sweaty. And then one of the producers sent a note, Zuu, can you not put your arms up again? Because we can see you're sweaty. And I was like, obviously I'm fucking sweaty, bruv. Man's on Saturday Night Takeaway, blood.
Okay, big question for you.
Yeah, go on.
What are you insecure about?
Ooh. I don't know. I think sometimes I'm insecure about how loud and boisterous I am sometimes. I feel like sometimes that gets used against me. I feel like sometimes people are like, you're so loud, that's why you just shout all the time, or you're just and I feel like sometimes that makes me feel like, should I be quiet then? But then I can't because my brain doesn't let me. Like, I'll be like mindful, like, you know, okay, let me chill out. Let me not talk too much. But then, like, I've got ADHD, bro. Like, sometimes I can't control it. And like, I remember I'll do shows sometimes. I'll like I'll do like Saturday kitchen or Sunday brunch. And I'll get like a tweet that says like, that Big Zuu guy, I didn't understand him. All he was doing was shouting slang. And I'm like, brother, like, sorry, innit?
Yeah, because that's who you are. You're just being authentic to you.
Yeah. But then sometimes it makes me go like, obviously, don't get twisted. Like if you read every negative comment, you're gonna lose your mind. But sometimes you're human, innit?
Do they ever get to you?
Yeah, sometimes. maybe
What kind of comments will we
just
get
like
to?
stuff like that, like, oh, this guy, like, sometimes I get like things like, oh, this guy's only here to tick a box, or who's this random brother they got from the street on the show, like shit like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I definitely believe in myself and I know why I'm here. But sometimes, when I was younger, when I first started getting those, I've gone from like music where I'm celebrated for who I am, celebrated for my difference and respected as an artist, to going into telly where it's like I kind of had to earn my stripes again. So when I first got into telly, there were times I was getting comments and I'm like, brother, like, and I can't reply,
Right.
Whereas in music, like, I send a war dub to your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from Grime, where, it's a bit more like if a fan talks shit, like I can tell them to shut up. But in TV, can't do that.
I want to ask you one more thing, Zuu. Talk about your faith.
Oh man, it's been interesting, bro, because I wasn't really open about being a Muslim and stuff. People knew I was Muslim, but I never really spoke about it. But then I did this doc called Big Zuu Goes to Mecca, and it kind of changed my life. Like, I'm not the most religious person in the world. I don't practice Islam every day. But I'm very, like, I am pious. I believe in God a lot. And I don't know, man. It's been tough because I feel like I represent Muslims in the media. My name's Zahir. I have a beard. Like, it's clear, innit? I'm one of them. I'm one of you. But I also come from music, which is also considered haram. Like, music is not allowed in certain aspects.
Explain that to someone who's naive.
So to people, haram means not allowed, basically, essentially. Yeah, it was forbidden. So music is considered to be haram.
Why? Because
there's so many teachings and things about it. Yeah, I can't get into it too tough because I'll probably get I'll probably get someone just giving me a lecture, which I don't need right now.
I get that.
But it's fine. I'm not worried. What I will say is, there's passages in the Quran that say anything that takes you away from Islam is haram, essentially. So things that distract you. But then there's also things in music that obviously promote negativity. That's also the haramness in it. So there are forms of music that are halal, which are allowed.
So basically anything that distracts you away from the Quran is haram.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
So it's quite a fundamental way you have to lead a life.
Yeah, because some people because the Quran is about interpretation.
Sure.
So the words of Allah, which is the Quran, is what we live our life as Muslims. But then you have hadiths, which are like stories that come from those times after, and those are interpretation as well. So someone can interpret that thing and say, well, you can't watch TV then, because that's distracting you from the words of Allah. That's distracting you from your faith. Do
you sometimes get conflicted then, where you, now that you've done this show and you went to Mecca, which is amazing, and you sort of opened yourself up more and understood the faith more, do you then sometimes get conflicting of how you're meant to be?
I think because I'm always like, one thing I definitely know is that I can't change how I am. Like, I can like grow and become better, but like, I am who I am. Like, when I get home, like, sometimes you have all these thoughts about what you want to do, and then you wake up and you just go straight back to what you're gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna eat that food ever again. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna do this, and then you wake up tomorrow and just have a cigarette and have a glass of wine. So sometimes you really want to change, but you are who you are. And I feel like with me and Islam is that I've gone on this journey to try and become a better Muslim, but I fundamentally, and I'm a grime MC. Like, I spit bars. Like, I grew up smoking weed and drinking alcohol and talking to women, all things that are very haram. But I own those things. And one thing about Islam is that it's about repenting and how God is merciful, and how it's about how we're humans. We have our flaws. All monotheism is around that same thing, that all God wants is worship and our praise for making us. And in that, he knows what we are. He knows he gave us these things that make us bad. Like, they just come from the ground, like from the sky. Like, everything we have on this earth, if you believe in God, it comes from God. So, humans have free will to decide what they want to do. So it's kind of like, we're always going to make mistakes. We are flawed, but as long as your intention is pure and you want to change and you want to be a good person, I feel like God will look past that. So then if God will look past that, then you can't really care what people think about you.
Do you know what? I grew up at my school. We had to go to church pretty much every night. I had church on Sundays, and because of that, I kind of went away from it.
Yeah.
But now, I think some sort of faith is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
And what I do now is every evening and morning, I pray. Don't know who I'm praying to because I don't know what I quite believe in yet, but I pray.
That's fine.
For thanks, and I'm grateful, and that has definitely changed my life.
Yeah, man.
100%. It makes you more grateful. It makes you more thankful. It makes you sort of help with understanding about everything perhaps happens for a reason, whatever it is. Yeah, it was kind of changing my life a little bit.
I mean, faith is beautiful, bro, and I feel like some people overuse it, and they there's a difference between religion and culture, and that's the main thing people have to realize is that. What's in a book and what is taught, that's different to what you grew up with. So if culturally you have these ideologies that I don't have, doesn't mean that I'm a bad person because I don't follow what you think is right in your faith. Yeah. Because that's what you grew up with. I always say this, there's one thing I always say, there are different types of Muslims, there are different types of Christians, different types of Jewish people, there's different types of Buddhist people, there's different types of every religion. But if God made us all, then they didn't have a choice in it. I didn't have a choice if I was born here and I have this ideology because I'm from this place. This is what we think. So I can't judge you for having those thoughts in terms of you're not a lesser of a human being because you think this or you think that. Same way I might follow my faith in this in one specific way. You're not better than me because you follow it in that way because you was born there. That's how you was raised. So if someone's born in a random village and there's no religion, does that mean they're going to hell? Because they don't praise God? No, because they're born in that random village. They don't know about God there. So you can't. I'm just very open about the fact that I believe everyone has a right to believe whatever they want to believe in. And if you were raised in a certain type of way, that's how you are. If you're an evil person and you believe in fucking mad shit, then obviously I'm allowed to judge you and say, yo, bro, you're a bit fucked up. But if you understand the roots of people's thoughts, it always comes from what they're raised around. And if I was raised in a certain way, you have to respect that. Same way if you're raised in a certain way. Same way you're saying you were told to go to church all the time and you kind of strayed from it, but now you've gone back to being faithful in a specific way. You don't know what you're being faithful to, but you know that you're showing love and you know that you're praying towards goodness. Someone that's super religious might turn around and say, nope, that don't count, I don't care, you're wrong. You need to pray this way. You should pray in this direction. Shut up, bruv.
Seriously.
It's quite deep, innit?
I freaking love that. Man, can I say, I enjoyed, this has been insane, man.
Yeah, man, it's been deep.
I really liked everything about this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Likewise,
man.
Bro.
I got final quick fire questions.
Yeah, go
on.
You can
just fire. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go on.
What's a saying or phrase that always makes you smile or cheers you up?
Bomber clock.
Best compliment anyone's ever given you?
That's deep. I would say anytime someone compliments my energy, bro. Anytime. Just, you got good energy, bro.
You got great energy. Dude.
Thank you.
What scares you most about yourself?
My mouth. That sounds quite dirty. Nah, joking. Nah, my mouth, bro. I talk a lot. Sometimes I used to shut up.
When was the last time you cried and why?
I watched that clip of Pursuit of Happiness, the clap, on Twitter in my bed. It just came up sometimes you have TikToks of 2-minute moments from films. That's the new thing now apparently. And I was watching that and it made me
getting emotional now. Yeah,
I want to cry. Goosebumps.
What's something you can't let go of?
Old clothes that have memories attached to them.
Good shout.
My house is fucked, bro.
Good shout. What's your guilty pleasure?
Sweets.
100%. What turns you off?
Being rude to random people, to waiters and stuff. People dismissive to anyone that is a service industry. I hate that shit.
What turns you on?
Love. People who are loving and caring and who just do stuff out of just because they got good intentions.
What do you like most about yourself?
Apart from my dashing good looks, I would say I love my openness. I'm open, man. I don't judge, bro. I mean, sometimes I might do by accident and I feel bad when I do, But I respect anyone from any walk of life. Whoever you are, whatever you do, I don't care, bruv. Love.
Final one, your favorite swear word.
Oh, what is my favorite swear word? I don't know. I don't know. There's so many. There's so many that are
Shout
great.
one out.
I'll probably say prick. Prick. Do you know I like prick? Because it's like, it's actually not that bad,
It's
isn't
actually
it?
not that
I give my
bad.
finger a little prick. But then if you say it you prick, it's actually really bad.
Zuu, you're brilliant. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate it.
Blessings.